All right, guys, we are on video number 2 here talking about stress. I completed the first video and you've listened to it, which was about stress at home and how to reduce that. I gave you some tips. This video today is about reducing stress at work. Now, this is a big deal because we spend a lot of time, obviously, in the workplace, but then sometimes we also bring it home. And of course, that's going to have impacts on our relationships at home. So if we can get our stress reduced from work, that's only going to be awesome for us. So again, Aaron here for Benson Coaching, and I've been a counselor for over 10 years and just wanted to get on and share some tips with you today about how to reduce stress at work. I've compiled all this information over the years, and these are 3 things that I've found to be extremely helpful. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. First one, schedule your day for energy and focus. Schedule your day for energy and focus. It's a really critical thing that we understand. We have to be the ones to take control of our schedule. Did you know that on a given day, workers are interrupted 7 times an hour? 7 times an hour, we're interrupted on what we're doing. And over 2 hours a day, we're distracted. So if we don't take more ownership for our schedule, then we're going to find ourselves feeling like it's their fault that this isn't going well for me, because people are going to be coming and asking for our help throughout the day. And that's in 1 hour. So on average, 7 times a day, you're interrupted on what you're working on. So it really becomes a time issue. And the important thing is to schedule your day for energy and focus. Now, what does that mean? What that means is you take control of your calendar. You go in and you write down some things that you can do to power up, or just to recover a little bit from all that you're doing throughout the day. See, I think that we go into work thinking that if I really go for 8 to 10 hours at work, that if I do that, then the result of that will be I'll get all this work done and I can go home and just relax. But what we're finding and what I'm hearing from people is that they're distracted so much, or people are coming and interrupting them throughout the day, that it's not actually, and they're taking on all these different emotions from the day, so they're not taking control of the schedule. So schedule your day for energy and focus. Identify what things bring energy into your life. For example, deep breathing. Listening to music is one thing that I love to do. And I've noticed, just yesterday, I was feeling really weighed down by some of the things that I was hearing from people and the stress that they were managing. And I finished up a call and I put on my headsets and I just listened to some music to reestablish some rhythm and some flow. And it was awesome. Like, it doesn't work right away, but it definitely adds value as I do it more and I practice it more. So, energy and focus, taking a walk, getting out in nature, but doing stretching, just something that gets you focused on, hey, I got to keep my energy up to keep getting through these days. And you're going to be extremely happy that you took ownership for your schedule. Stop letting everybody else control your schedule and realize that it doesn't just happen. So be intentional and schedule it. Schedule your day for energy and focus. Now, the result of this is awesome, because when you take better care of yourself throughout the day, you're going to notice that you're going to have better recovery, you're going to have more energy, and then guess what? When you go home, you're going to feel so much more in control because you did the things for you that day to stay charged up. Okay? So it is an awesome tip that I found a ton of value out of. All right, tip number 2. Identify your self-imposed stress. So again, we're talking about at work. Okay, so what we would do here, and what's really helped me with this, is not worrying so much about what everybody else thinks about me and what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to make mistakes. The problem that I found that I was getting into with stress at work was that I was too focused on worrying about what other people thought about my abilities. And I was worried about their perception of me. And so I really had to work on that. And the first thing I had to do was identify, to get my stress lowered at work, I had to identify, well, where's some stress coming from that I'm actually creating that I'm creating. Like, it doesn't even need to happen, because I can't control what someone else thinks about me. I have enough stress just managing my own thoughts that come through my mind, right? So that's enough to keep me occupied. When I add being worried about what others perceive me as, or how if I'm thinking, I wonder what they're thinking, that can really cause some stress. So, and this has happened to me countless times. I know when I graduated from getting my master's degree and I went into the workplace, there's this like desire to want to show people that you're valuable and that you're this awesome, perfect person that does awesome work. And it's like, this is not a smart idea to have. It didn't work for me. And the people that I talk to every day as a mentor and as a coach, same thing. It does not serve us to be worried about what other people think about us. And it is a stress that we can reduce by just identifying that, hey, this is me. Like, I need to just let that go. Be open to feedback. Be open to being imperfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much better for us to have that kind of attitude and mentality when it comes to stress at work. So don't get caught up on the perception of what others think. It just takes too much energy and it takes too much of time. And the other thing too is 40% of workers report that they have trouble sleeping at night because of the worry and the stress that comes from work. And so it's something for us just to take note of. Now, I mean, you can say, well, they can use those statistics however they want. They can dictate how they're going to use the information. That's fine. But I know from what I've heard over 10 years of listening and encouraging and offering support to people, that they lie awake at night worrying about stress at work. And the impact, of course, is going to be on our families, close relationships. So if we can get this work stress reduced, it's going to have some awesome impacts at home, which is what we talked about in the last video. But an awesome statistic just to think about, 40%. I mean, I want to sleep. I want to get adequate rest and not feel like I'm worried about stuff. One way to do that is to identify where your self-imposed stress is coming from. Like, there's no reason. You cannot change what people think about you. So why spend the time worrying about it? Okay? And if you want more tips or support or suggestions on that, that's why we work with people one-to-one. We talk about building confidence and establishing an increased self-esteem so that you don't need to worry about the perception of others. So just sharing that. All right, third tip is to be your own best critic. So 70,000 conversations cross our mind on average on a daily basis. 70,000 conversations. You can bet that some of those are going to be negative. Like, that's just the reality. So be your own best critic. When you have those negative thoughts come through your mind, like, have the awareness to switch those immediately to something good. It's a great practice. Instead of getting caught up in, I'm a failure, I keep screwing up, I'm not perfect at this. Be your own best critic and take charge of your mind. Like, you're going to have the thoughts regardless, but you can actually change over time with practice. You can change the types of thoughts that your brain is going to produce. You can change it. In fact, this happened just this morning for me. I was thinking about what I have to do today for work and like the different tasks that I need to take care of. and just kind of getting my tone set for the day. And I started I had a couple thoughts were like, oh, this is going to be a tough day. It's going to be long. But then almost immediately my brain's like, yeah, but we're really skilled at doing this kind of stuff. We know how to work with people. We know how to give them suggestions. We know how to work through stuff. We know how to be efficient. And it's an awesome thing. Like to have your brain give you encouragement instead of like holding you back. So you can switch. You can change the way your brain works. And one way that you can practice that is to be your own best critic. When those negative thoughts come through, catch it and turn it around. You're going to find so much more value out of that for sure. So these 3 tips will reduce your stress at work, but you got to trust it, right? Like I've practiced each one of these tips that I'm sharing with you today, and I've given these suggestions to other people that I talk to every day that I'm chatting with people. I give them these suggestions. We really got to get away from thinking that, oh, life will just come and things will get easier. I've talked to people for years and it hasn't gotten easier. It's still like it just keeps coming, right? So we need to be more intentional and schedule your day for energy. Look for those stressors at work that you're creating yourself. You're creating yourself. Look for them. Identify where they're at and then take a close look at it and say, okay, what do I got to do to change this up? What's going to make this situation better for me so that I can reduce my stress here? And I really got to stop worrying about what other people think about me. It's okay to receive feedback. Actually, it's a really good thing. We don't like to think that we're imperfect, but we are. So let's just accept it. And then the last one, be your own best critic. Again, 70,000 conversations. Clean them up. Change it around as soon as it comes up. Don't think, oh, I'll do it later. Do it right then. Like immediately say, no. I'm good. I can handle this. I can get through this day. And you're going to find a lot of success with how you manage your stress at work. And you're going to get it lowered. And it's going to be amazing. So I appreciate you guys for listening in. I hope this has been valuable. Hope it's given you some things to think about. Take some time to evaluate where you're at with your stress at work. And if you notice that it's higher than you'd like it to be, try one of these tips, get really good momentum with it, and then add the next one. But start with one that you feel like, I can do that. That's a small step to take. And then you just move forward. And you keep going. And then things get better. And then you come home and you're like, kids, what a great day I had. Wife, it was such a good day. Okay, maybe not that over the top, but you still come home with better energy and a better attitude. And it's only going to have positive impacts on everybody around you. So I hope this has been helpful. And tune in for video number 3 where we're talking about stress with finances. It's another big stressor that comes up for a lot of us. So I'm going to share some tips on how to reduce that. Thanks for listening in.